real story, because you see faith is coming at us from 100 different directions anymore. Everybody's preaching faith. But Tom, they're not preaching something you absolutely have to know about faith, and that is it's based on grace.
Yeah, right.
It is not faith because of I've earned this.
Right.
I've earned by my works God doing me some favors because, buddy, I confessed and I have prayed these hours and I have read all of this. I did my homework, and God better be looking my way.
Yep, God owes me.
Oh. No.
No, that's not how it works.
So what do you have to say about that, Tom?
Well, we find out in Ephesians chapter 2, which I like to go back to, is that by grace we are saved through faith. And that, not of ourselves.
What?
That's what it says.
None of this?
I ain't making it up.
None of this?
Yeah.
Oh, man, patting yourself on the back.
It says it is the gift of God. Because we learn in Romans, of course, that faith comes by hearing, and hearing comes by the Word. So in order to be saved and have the faith to even be saved, you got to hear the Word first, correct?
Yes, you absolutely must. I mean, that's the thing that stirs up. Well, Tom, let's get to the definition of grace, because it's by grace are you saved through faith.
Yep.
Now, if we have a correct definition of grace, which according to the Strong's Concordance of Greek and Hebrew words, if I go and look up the word grace from pretty much anywhere in the New Testament, the Greek word is going to be defined this way: a divine influence in the heart reflected out the life. So this influence comes over my heart, causes me to believe what I've heard. This influence, it is a gift of God. This influence coming over my heart, persuading me to believe, is a gift of God. I cannot boast in that.
Right.
And when I understand this influence of God, that makes it easy for me to pray, because I see things correctly. I see that when I pray, grace is going forth over this person or that person. Grace is going forth over this project or whatever. And it's a divine influence. And then I can understand how this works, that God influenced me in a certain way so that I could hear and believe.
Right. And that the only thing I can take credit for is I made a good decision.
Yeah. You listened.
Because it says it's not that any man should boast.
Right. We can't. We cannot be boastful. Nowhere in the New Testament does it give us any realm of boasting.
Yeah. It ain't a person on the earth that was smart enough to save themselves.
No.
And that's just how it is. And I wasn't. Copeland wasn't. Nobody.
Nobody.
It's what it says, the gift of God. And it came by heeding that influence, and acting on that word you've heard.
Yep.
And that's
hearing and doing, Tom. The very thing, the very formula that gets you all to every place you want to go in the gospel. Hearing and doing.
Yeah. Well, I like to go back to where Mary told Jesus to do something about the wine situation at the wedding.
Oh, stop.
I need some more wine, Jesus.
Like, what are you telling me for?
And she told the guys that had the water pots, said, listen to him and do what he says.
Yeah.
And that's
really
all you got to do. Listen to him, do what he says.
And that was, it says, his first miracle.
Yep.
So we're talking, now Tom, you had said we were going to go to Matthew 17, is that right?
Yeah, sure did.
All right, here we go.
Because a lot of how you express your faith is going to be verbally. It's going to be talking it, That's going to be the action your faith takes.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just
faith
how it
without
is,
works is dead.
That's right.
So we have to speak in agreement with what we pray and believe.
Yep.
And if there is any action to be taken, we must take it.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. Because our faith has to have works to live.
Right. So that's another part of the picture that people have failed to see or have been given a wrong idea of what it is the realm of confession.
And it's not all talk.
Confessing the word. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. What it is, we'll go ahead and start with what it is, and we'll go into backing it up with what we read here. What your confession is, what it's meant to be, is you expressing the picture that's been painted on the inside of you by this word.
Good.
You have read the Word, you have seen what the Word has to offer you, what it's building into you, and you start saying, well, the Word says I can be healed. And the Word says, in fact, I am healed.
Right.
So obviously the Word is true. So I agree with this Word, and by faith I confess that I am healed. And it's not just for healing, it's for any other thing that you find that the Word says about you.
Any other destination you see in here that you are wanting to get from where you are now to that.
Yep, that's exactly right. And that's what confession is about. It's you expressing the fact that this Word is the truth, and I believe it.
Yep, expressing confidence in the Word.
Right, right.
Good.
Right, and it's not just, gimme, my name's Jimmy, and my middle name is some more.
Interesting.
No, it's not about that. And we'll see, take a couple of popular confession verses.
Okay.
And we'll see what context they're actually in.
Oh boy, so
and
here
how
we go.
we start directing our words to cause things to change in our lives. Because that's one thing that confession has been taught. It's a method for change.
It's a viable spiritual principle, Tom, that has been incorrectly taught and given people a false sense of security when you can't just talk. You have to believe along with the saying, or it's totally useless.
Right. Yeah.
Without the believing being mixed in.
Yeah.
So,
because there's a proper way to use things.
Right.
And if you don't use
Always.
it in the proper way, it's not going to work right. And that's just common sense, something we're all about.
There you go.
Okay, and we're in Matthew 17.
Got it. Okay.
And we're going to start in verse 14, I believe.
Alrighty.
And when they were come to the multitude, there came to him a certain man, kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic,